Alright guys, we got the Datamines for the Winter Dreamland banner, which is going to be dropping later tonight in just a couple of hours from now. I think the banner goes live at 2 a.m. my time. So in just about 2 hours and 10 minutes, we are going to get this banner. I am actually going to be summoning on the banner to try and get one copy at least of Lysithea. I'm not really too interested personally on any of the other banner options, but a little bit of a spoiler alert, Manuela seems pretty nuts for a merge project, so just keep that in mind. We are going to get to her in just a sec, but first things first, let's go ahead and start off with the stats for these new units. So Lysithea's stats were actually in the trailer yesterday, but I'm going to read her stats again. So we got 38 HP, 42 attack, 40 speed, 19 defense, and 23 res, giving her a BST of 160, and she actually has 3 super boons in attack, speed, and res. So obviously attack and speed are what you're going to want to go for on her. Her weapon has a bunch of conditions where she needs to have more speed than the enemies to activate. So for her to get her brave attack effect, you want to be 10 points higher in speed than the foe. So of course plus speed will be a great asset for her. Also, with the Brave attack, hitting the foes twice in a row or 4 times potentially if you can somehow survive their counterattack. She doesn't get the Desperation effect and the Brave attack together, so you don't have to worry about her hitting you 4 times in a row. Each condition is separate. However, she's still going to hit you twice in a row pretty much, so you still have to be very careful of that. And when you're attacking twice in a row, plus attack is very good, so either plus attack or plus speed will work out for her. But if you want to give her the broccoli florets and give her both, then that'll work out just fine as well. Alright, next up we got Mirabilis. So she has 39 HP, 36 attack, 17 speed, 34 defense, and 36 res. So Mirabilis is pretty similar to her already mythic form in the game, pretty much. Lots of defense, low speed, and then I guess her attack is okay. Her HP is kind of bad though, but it's not a big deal. Her BST is 162, and she only has 1 super boon in res, which I guess that kind of makes sense for her being a dagger to have a lot of res. Maybe you could run Temari on her for some reason if you don't want to run her regular weapon, but I think her regular weapon is already quite good anyway, so she's fine as a dancer. Flying dancers are just really good, but I do actually think the Mythic Mirabilis is still a little better because you can run Near Trace on her to get the +1 Canto, which I've found to be very powerful on the Flying Dancers if they have access to Canto Rem +1. So just my opinion on that, but still, Mirabilis is a solid option for a dancer. Alright, next up we have Artur, or Arthur. There's no H there, but I don't know, man. Let me know if you say his name Artur or Arthur in the comment section down below. Regardless, he's making his debut in the game as a seasonal only unit for now. But he's got 43 HP, 41 attack, 19 speed, 35 defense, and 41 res. And his BST is 179 overall, which is actually kind of low, to be honest. Well, how much did the Valentine Alphonse had? Did he have like 177 or 176? Something like that, I guess. So I guess this guy is slightly better. He does have better stat placement, I would say, as well than Alphonse, because I think Alphonse had a bit more speed than this, but you don't really care about speed on these armored units anyway, because you're just going to run them with a save skill like he comes with. He has far save, so you just keep that on him, and then maybe give him DD4 or a level 3 stance or something like that, and he is going to work wonders as a save option. So that's one thing to consider. All right, let's go ahead and move on to everybody's favorite unit on the banner. All right, so we got Manuela over here. She's got 42 HP, 37 attack, 42 speed, 38 defense, and 31 res, giving her a whopping BST of 190. Now, mind you, she is a 4-star demote, so you would be able to summon for her and possibly get her to plus 10 in a reasonable amount of orbs. Typically for 4 stars on these banners, it's like anywhere from 200 to like 500-ish orbs, which is not bad at all, considering it'll take you like over 1,000 for the 5 stars. So if you wanted to go for the plus 10 on Manuela, you might be able to pull it off, and she's actually going to be a very high scoring unit for arena mode and all the other modes that require scoring. She's a sword armored unit, which we don't really get too often. We do have Burger King, of course, and we have Arden as well. 2 other free-to-play options, but I think Manuela is probably better than both. Well, I guess Black Luna is still pretty real, right? You can't count that out from Burger King's kit. But regardless, just statistically, Manuela's running circles around Burger King, so I do think she definitely has the edge. Unfortunately, she only has 1 super boon, and it's in speed, which, like I said when we were talking about Ignatz, or not Ignatz, but Artur, these armored units don't really care too much about speed, but regardless, like, it gives her more potential on the player phase if you want her to do that. So it's not bad by any means. Honestly, I thought her res was going to be a lot lower than this, but 31 res, that's not even enough to be counted as a dump stat, really. You can still get away with that. So Manuela is very impressive for a demote. And finally, we have our Tempest Trial prize unit. We got Ignatz. So he's going to be a colorless armored bow. So maybe he's competing with Winter Felix a little bit. One thing I do like about Felix, though, is that he's blue. So he does actually have color advantage on units like Duo Lif and Legendary Lilina, who are very common. So that's one edge to Ignatz, or one edge to Felix, but Ignatz being colorless, there's also a lot of value to be had with that. He's got 42 HP, 35 attack, 40 speed, 31 defense, and 37 res. And his overall BST is 185, which is thankfully much better than Artur's, but way less than Manuela's. I mean, rightfully so. He is a ranged armored unit, so typically ranged weapons get less BST. But still, 185 for free-to-play on a ranged unit is quite good. We've only recently started getting 185 access on the free-to-play options, like with the Ninja Shamir that we recently got, as well as Yen Fei. So having a ranged option with the same BST as them is still pretty cool. And as far as boons go, I don't think this guy has any boons. I checked the Reddit and doesn't look like he has any super boons at all, which is unfortunate, but not really a big deal if you wanted to go ahead and go for the merges on him. So he's not the worst for a Tempest Trial prize, but I guess he could be maybe a little bit better, but still, he's... If you like Ignatz, then there's no reason not to build him, I would say. Alright, so this is his weapon. He's got Tannin Bow Plus with 12 might and 2 range. Of course, it's effective against flyers. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack and defense up 5, and a bonus to attack and defense during combat, equal to the current penalty on each of those stats times 2. So it's basically attack and defense unity, the weapon. Yesterday, your boy goofed up and called it the Pelagian weapons by mistake, but that's not actually the case. So these are going to power up based on your unit having debuffs, whereas the Pelagian weapons power up based on the opponents having debuffs. So it's sort of like a reverse of that. That's kind of why I mixed them up yesterday, but still pretty good skill for a weapon there. He's got Rally, Attack, and Speed Plus, so double Rally there. We got Speed and Defense Form 3, and then we have Defense Tactic 3. Finally, they're giving out these tactic skills on other units, or they're making the other ones more accessible besides Attack Tactic, because we've had Legalt with Attack Tactic 3 forever, but we haven't really had any of the other ones available that often. So that is nice. And his inheritance levels are going to be 5-star for Speed and Defense Form, and then 4-star for Defense Tactic, which is nice, but I would like this to be in the actual summoning pool as opposed to on a Grail unit. So hopefully we don't have to wait too much longer for that. Alright, also for Manuela, she has Attack and Speed Form 3 at 5-star. And she's going to have Special Fighter at 4-star, which is really awesome. I think Manuela is probably the winner of this banner, to be honest. Like, being such a good merge project for a 4-star and then having freaking Special Fighter at 4-star as well. That is really good. Okay, and then we have Colorless Feud 3. The requirements here, doesn't look like there's any at all. I believe that was the case as well with Red Feud. So you can give this to anybody, I believe. At least that's how it looks. But yeah, I mean, this one is a little better than the red one because a couple of people brought this up, but a lot of the support units are actually colorless. So Flame, for example, you're going to disable her damage reduction. Also, we just got Ash, who has a joint drive attack effect on her C skill. So you can negate that. There's also the Winter Hill, or the Duo Hilda, who has the +6 attack and the breath effect active on her support. So you can just shut all of that stuff down, which is pretty nuts. So this is not a bad feud skill, but still, I would say you probably want a different skill on her, like maybe joint drive attack or arouse 4 to get the nullify panic effect on her. Okay, and here are the sacred seals for this round of Tempest Trial. We're getting Spur, Speed, and Res 1, which you can obviously upgrade to level 2. And then we have Darting Breath, which is nice. So finally, we're getting more of these breath skills as sacred seals now, which is good. Darting Breath is also pretty hard to get because it's only on Fallen Ike. So it's nice to get this as a sacred seal. Unfortunately, though, I would say this is probably the weakest of the breath skills. It would have been really nice if they gave us Fierce Breath instead. I think that's probably the best one at this point in time. Warding Breath would have been nice too, but yeah, just getting the bonus attack is probably what I would say I'd want the most on a breath. So hopefully Fierce Breath is not too much farther along. And finally, we have the Hall of Forms for this round. Of course, it's going to be Fates themed, and we have the Bunny Kagero. We got the Bikini Camilla. We have Felicia off the menu. I think this Felicia is the picnic one. And then we're also going to have the Picnic Flora as well. So, pretty interesting. Felicia and Flora both have perf weapons. I think Felicia's axe is effective against beasts. And Flora is effective against beasts as well. So, they're not too bad. Either of those two, I think, could be potential prospects if you wanted to take them with the Form of Soul. Kagero and Camilla, unfortunately, don't have perf weapons, though, but by all means, go for them if they are your favorite characters and you don't have them yet. So that's pretty much all there is to say about these data mines here. Oh, I guess one other thing. These are both armored units, too, so you'd be able to form them with save skills and level 3 stances and crafty fighter or slick fighter or whatever. So these are definitely the two to keep an eye out for in Hall of Forms if you want to get some good stuff on them. But that's pretty much it for the data mines here. Let me know in the comments section what you guys think. I will be summoning on the banner like I said, so stick around for that if you're interested. This is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys again on the flip side.